half-type shirt of the president of the PBA, Marc McDowel, both natives of Wisconsin.
Chris, and 3 of our players in the championship round are all products of the college program in the United States, these 2 players, and they have very similar styles. You'll see that they're very conventional, 5-step deliveries, good arm swings, good knee bend, and will come to the Pro Tour with a lot of experience. But here's Shady's first shot on national television.
National champion with his collegiate team while attending the University of Wisconsin at La Crosse. He then transferred to Nebraska and became a 3-time All-American there. And in winning the team title, the national team title, it was against Marc McDowell's West Texas State team. They finished 2nd nationally at that time. So we're all even. On Wisconsin, I guess we could say.
Marc McDowel, a short 5-step delivery, a very strong player physically, has the ball in perfect position at the apex of the swing. Good knee bend, good extension, and almost textbook styles, Chris. And you see more and more players coming out of school, once again, that have just ideal, well-trained styles as compared to players coming up in my era, the Mark Ross and so forth, that kind of did it more on natural ability.
Going for a double here in our very first match from Cedar Lanes. Crossing over and leaving the 3-6. The 28-year-old professional who has been in the finals here at Fresno the last 3 years. He won in 1989, winning 3 games. 4th telecast of 1991, 3rd in the flagship Open in Erie, Pennsylvania. 4th at Quaker State, and 4th at AC Delco. That was a Gable House, which happens to be owned by Jack Coogan, whose son Kevin is racing and qualifying hopefully very well at the Indianapolis 500. Had a 2:26 lap the other day.
Mike Shady, excuse me, Chris, Mike Shady sends that ball a little bit wide, and early we can remember that the characteristics of the championship pair, the right-hand lane a little bit tighter than the left-hand lane, see the ball going wide, and he almost leaves a 2-8 double wood spare, which would have been very difficult. Gets a good break, has a simple pin, the 2.
All right. He's 25 years old, 5'7", 150 pounds. Smooth. Oh, you were mentioning a moment ago about your heyday. Well, you were a real stylist. Come on.
Well, thank you, but I had the luxury of a father who had a lot of experience and coached me all the way through high school and college, where many of the young players of my era, the 1960s, basically learned on themselves, i.e. through experiment. And I think it's a little bit tougher to learn that way, and it sure takes a longer time. These players are ripe and mature and ready at the age of 22.
Mike Shady, a name to remember, from Ripon, Wisconsin. 3-sport star in high school. His twin brother Mark, who was a 4-year baseball player and a very good one. He's now in the computer business, married back in Wisconsin. Beautiful shot by Marc McDowel. We asked Mark what his secret is to his 3 top 5 appearances right here at Cedar Lanes.
Well, I think when you win in a place, you come back with a lot of confidence. The bottom line is I get a good ball reaction here, and my carry's good. So when you put those 3 things together, you're going to get good results.
Okay.
And he's using the same ball that he used last year. It shows you how much confidence he has. He matched the ball to the bowling center and is stuck with it this year.
Leading the bucket. 2, 4, 5, 8. Our tournament leader is left-hander John Mazza, Mount Clemens, Michigan.
Spares a key here in the championship pair. For 3 games, Marc McDowel averaged .233 during the 42 games of qualifying, whereas opponent Mike Shady only averaged .209.
All right. An all-Wisconsin first match. Marc McDowel, Mike Shady. More after this. Doesn't work, he'll go into business. But I think his bowling's going to take over for a few years.
Looks good, Chris, and he's really doing it the proper way. Now McDowell, who has been perfect on the right-hand lane, is fifth frame.
Two-time champion, Marc McDowell. He was the 1986 Rookie of the Year.
I met Marc McDowell in Madison, Wisconsin during an exhibition in 1985. And at that time he says, do you think I have it to make it on the Pro Bowlers Tour? And all he needed was experience. He had the style and the game and also the demeanor to do well out here on the tour. And right now, if he can strike here in the sixth, he'll have the lead for the first time in the match.
Last year, 2 telecasts. His best was second at Dublin. Year prior, he won twice on 3 telecasts. Oh. You heard him clear his throat as he's wearing a wireless microphone.
Well, nothing hurts your confidence any more than having a lane where the shots go so errant. He went high in the second frame, then light with a slight adjustment in the fourth frame. He moves just a little bit, another board to the right. He's all of a sudden over on the left side of the lane, the 5-9. Has to gather his wits about him and see what he can do on the left-hand lane to have a chance.
No.
Just good. His no became a yes.
Mike Shady with a 9-pin lead through 5 frames. Statistics for this year show that the player leading through 5 frames has won 63% of the matches. So 2 out of 3 times this man should win. Here we go.
Well, we don't get to see this too often, Bo.
Well, the 2-7-8 is not a difficult split to make. All he has to do is get the ball over in this area, slide the 2 into the 7, have the ball take out the 8. Here's how it's done ideally. Get it in here and let it slide through. And this is what Mr. Shady has to do to maintain his lead. 6th frame.
All right. Coming to Mark, we asked him about his college bowling experience and how it affected his decision to turn pro.
Well, out of high school, I was always real interested in college. I went to University of Wisconsin Lacrosse in '85 and was pretty fortunate. I won a national championship against West Texas, who at that time Marc McDowel was bowling, and decided to transfer to pursue a professional career. And went to the University of Nebraska and worked with Bill Straub and had a lot of success. And he worked in my game and fine-tuned it, and I'm out here now and enjoying it.
What can you do to change that here today?
Well, I'm just going to go out and try and make the best shots I possibly can. I may make a little move on the lanes. They're a little bit difficult today, this particular pair, so I might move in a little bit, give that a shot.
All-time leading money winner, has the experience. Chris, a few minutes. Back to you.
Getting experience, this prospect. Coming up just a little high. And of course that was a 9th frame shot, leaving the 4-pin, leading by 15. Best finish thus far in his young professional career was 4th last year in the challenge in Tucson, Arizona. There in the 9th frame for Mike Shady. And as Bo indicated in interviewing Marshall Holman, that'll be the winner's next opponent. And Brian Berg, another Wisconsin professional, followed by John Mazza, our tournament leader. All in the finals of the Fresno Open.
Key shot for McDowell, trails by 15, can possibly take the lead with strikes in the 9th and 10th frames.
So often this year, and often in other years, but this year it seems more often, in the final frames, Bo, they have just excelled in our 16 winter telecast, now our first of spring-summer.
You're right, Chris, but McDowell really is in a dilemma. He hasn't even been close in the left-hand lane. He must strike twice to take the lead. The only thing I can think to do is move back to where he went high and muscle the ball down there. He's a very powerful young man, strong legs, strong arm, and strong ball. You can't play around at this point. You just got to go to the whip.
Excellent frame, bud.
Look at that, congratulating McDowell on an excellent shot was his former collegiate opponent right there, Mike Shady.
Shady reflecting on what he must do, and right now McDowell with a superb shot in the 10th can take the lead for the first time with a strike here, the second ball in the 10th. He cannot shut out Mike Shady.
McDowell will win here in '89. Appearing on the third consecutive telecast here, Bo. Loves it.
He does. Once you get the feel and the confidence in a bowling center, you can continue to perform well, and the Schenkel crystal ball correctly predicted McDowell taking the lead, but it's not over. A possible 220. Shady will determine the winner.
Mark says that's all right. I guess so, a 219. And now it, as Bo said, is up to a 25-year-old young professional looking for his first professional title.
Needs a strike on the next two shots to go on to meet Marshall Holman. Anything less, then he loses.
Oh, yeah. And precariously hanging on the edge of the channel. Mike Shady's shots. Boy, these young studs are something.
You're right, Chris. That's the college experience. He sends the ball way wide and gets tremendous action off the head pin. That's the key part of the, watch the head pin, the left sideboard, 3-pound, 8-ounce pins, comes around and just nicks the 10. He needs one more strike and just a short count to win the match. The 5 pins are automatically, this is the ball.
Incredible, incredible. And you couldn't find two finer young men to be called professionals and members of the PBA than Shady and McDowell.
Very true, Chris. Now let's think about Del Ballard. He only needed 7 pins and he went in the channel. 5 pins is much less. Shady should not take a chance. Throw it down the middle. He will get 5 pins. The only problem he could have is throwing it in the gutter.
Good point.
And this is right down the middle.
And up there quickly to congratulate him, his nemesis. Back and forth battle between McDowell and Shady. Shady now gets a real test against the Mike Shady, the 25-year-old from Wisconsin, in the first match defeated Marc McDowell, the PBA president, 223 to 219. Mike then faced many-time champion Marshall Holman, 222 to Marshall's 148. 7 strikes in his first victory, 6 in the second. Now against another non-winner, Brian Berg of Menominee, Wisconsin. A real battle between two more collegians here, Nelson. And it'll be